He not feeling so well, under the weather, so it's just me. So you can hang out with me for a little while if you'd like, and I got a lot of information, a lot of things to get to this morning. I was just talking about in a little bit. We're going to talk about a shortage that is going on right now that you need to be mindful of. Maybe you might be seeing it in the grocery store at some point. Also, cybersecurity is a big thing. I know everybody probably updating their passwords and all of the different things on a regular basis, but could there be another way to keep everything that you have secure? I know they have like the face IDs and all that stuff, but could there be another way? Well, we'll find out. But yeah, Ken's out sick this morning. Dave Wolf covering news and sports this morning, double duty. So let's find out what's happening. WSJM News brought to you by our friends at Cornerstone Alliance. See gomichigan.com. Cornerstone Alliance.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Dave Wolf. The Berrien County Sheriff's Appointment Committee has reviewed the applications of those people applying to serve the remaining term of Berrien County Sheriff Paul Bailey. Bailey is retiring at the end of the year, leaving the year before the next election. 5 people have applied for the interim role, and after initial review, the committee decided all 5 will receive an interview. Berrien County Prosecutor Steve Rangeley chairs the appointment committee and says each interview will start with Q&A during an hour session.
We started with a 45-question answer session with the interview, followed by discussion on the members. After the interview is done, the committee will deliberate and make a decision and appoint the new sheriff at that time.
4 of the 5 candidates are currently serving in the Berrien County Sheriff's Office. 1 is from out of state. 5 applying for the role are Lieutenant Charles Dyer Niles, Jeffrey Gorley of Miramar, Florida, under Sheriff Israel is overcharged, but given that Tlaib has family in the West Bank, he can understand why she might not be a fan of Israel. Either way, he can't police her speech.
The First Amendment protects us all, and when we take it away from one, we potentially take it away from another.
In response to Green's censure resolution against Tlaib, Democrats filed a censure motion against Green.
Hey, good morning, everybody watching on our live stream. Hope you're having a good start to your day. You know, I got everything all over the place this morning as Ken's out this morning. But actually, what also happened is some of the cameras and things that were in here were borrowed by Zach to do the Bold Women of Business last night, and he didn't bring back the stuff. So I had to go with one of my backup cameras and then had to get everything situated this morning. So anyways, hope you're having a great start to your day. What are you up to this morning? Ken's out sick this morning. Yeah, he's not feeling well. He told me yesterday he was under the weather and he was going to keep me posted. But then I texted him this morning and said, hey, how you feeling? I didn't get a text until 6 o'clock. Till I was here in the studio getting ready for the show. And I was like, all right, well, Ken's not here. All right. So Dave Wolf, thanks to Dave Wolf that's taking over news as well as sports this morning to keep you informed on everything that's going on. But yeah, catch you up on a lot of the things that are going on this morning. I always love to hear from you on the things that you're up to. We're going to talk about something pretty interesting in just a little bit as far as I don't know how glamorous cybersecurity is for you, but it's a really important thing when you think about all of the stuff that you have out there, from your bank information, your social security number, all of these different things. Passwords to all those things are very important to keep. Well, I guess a good password, to have a good password. Don't have one that's just like the same password for every single thing that you do. That's not wise. Well, now I know a lot of places, banks and other places have been going to the Face ID thing, where your cell phone picks up, figures out, hey, this is how you're going to log in. Instead of a password, you're going to do your face, which that seems pretty secure, except for sometimes that doesn't work, especially for me. Like the day that I usually shave off the beard, it gets interesting. The Face ID doesn't quite recognize it. And then sometimes when I take my glasses off, like at night when I'm doing the Face ID, it doesn't work. So that's stuff to think about. But now there's another way to keep things more secure, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. What else you guys got going on today? Sorry, I'm just getting things ready for the next thing. As always, this fine award-winning program doesn't just play itself. You got to keep it tight, keep it well maintained, well oiled. It's a well-oiled machine, and yeah, I'm the one driving the bus all the time, so got to keep it interesting. Good morning, Bill. And he also says, sorry to hear about Ken. Yeah, Ken's sick. I don't know if he wants me to tell you what's going on. He said his stomach wasn't feeling good, so I'll just leave it at that. Leave it at that. Bill says you're doing great so far. Thanks, man. Yeah. It's always fun when people are like, hey, can you handle the show by yourself? It's like, well, yeah, been doing this for a while, but it was fun to get in this morning. I was actually the first one in the building this morning, and so I knew immediately that Ken wasn't here, because usually he's here before me getting all the news and stuff ready, and I usually roll in a little bit later, and the alarm was still going off, or alarm was still armed here at the radio station, so I beep boop took care of that. So I was like, oh, all right, doing the show by myself today. All right. So if you want to be part of the show, of course, yeah, Bill says we don't need details. We don't need details. Yeah, I don't think you want to know the details. Anytime anybody's sick, and this is just a public service announcement for people. One, if you're sick, you don't really need to tell people all the stuff that's going on. Honestly, it's a little bit of TMI, a little too much information when people tell you how they're feeling, or what, something that kept them up all night, whether it was the flu or this, that, and the other. Just tell me you're sick. That's all I need to know. And I'm good with that. And so that's fine. But another public service announcement: if you are sick, stay home. Don't try to be the hero. We know when, especially with the pandemic, any sort of sniffle or this or that, anytime that stuff happened, it was like, whoa. Stay home. Of course, do some sort of a test of any kind. Do that. But any other sickness, flu, cold, this is that time of year, especially with the way the weather was. The weather changed. We had rain. We had snow. We had a combination of all of these different things. Just stay home. Just stay home. So just keep that in mind. Other things going on this morning. I've been seeing a lot of stories about Thanksgiving, and shout out to Chad, who sent me a message as we were talking about this yesterday. The what is it? DiGiorno's has the Thanksgiving pizza. Did you catch that conversation? We were talking about Thanksgiving pizza, and it's got pretty much everything that you would have on your plate for Thanksgiving, but instead it's on a pizza, which I'm totally okay with. I think it's a great idea. But then Chad sent me a message saying that there's a pizza place here locally, actually in my town, down in Niles, that has a Thanksgiving pizza. So this pizza, and shout out to, I'll just call them out, Pizza Transit. They are not paying me for this, but if Pizza Transit wants to advertise, hey, you know who to call. But their Thanksgiving pizza, here's what it is. And let me know if you like it. A base of turkey gravy with mozzarella cheese, stuffing, turkey breast, as well as cheddar cheese, and a side of their homemade cranberry sauce on the side, which we gave out a little bit of our mine as well as Ken's cranberry sauce ideas. I can't remember if we did that on the live stream or not. But yeah, so this pizza comes with cranberry sauce and then locally grown, those cranberries, locally grown berries from Alex's Veggies in Stevensville. So shout out to Alex, the mullet man of Southwest Michigan, who I didn't know he grew cranberries. Is that true? Alex, you got to let me know. You got to let me know your cranberry secret, man. So you can get your hands on the Thanksgiving pizza if you want at Pizza Transit. And Silver Beach Pizza is doing a Thanksgiving pizza. Actually, two different Thanksgiving pizzas where it's I think they have a traditional like Thanksgiving one they've been doing past couple of years, but then they also as a surprise extra pizza, they have green bean casserole pizza. I don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel about Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving pizza in general? But how do you feel about a green bean casserole pizza? I don't know, man. So let me know. We'll get back to the show here in just a second.
Fighting chance.
A message from American Humane.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies today. Still quite chilly across our areas. We're going to top out at 48. As we head into tonight, we'll see mostly cloudy skies down to 36. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of only 50 degrees. We'll be in the mid-50s over the weekend. A chance of rain returns as we head into Sunday. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Hey, good morning. You can be part of the show anytime. This fine award-winning program could not go without you as well. So be part of it by calling 925-WSJM. You can email letstalk@WSJM.com. You could even write a letter. We haven't had some letters lately. We had some snail mail at one point, which some of them were correcting either. I think the last one we got was I'm trying to remember. Ken's not here today, so he can't refresh my memory. So I'm just going off of what I got up there, and I think it was we were talking about the gulls, what we were calling seagulls, at the Orchards Mall, and the person sent us a letter, a typed letter, mind you, a typed letter that. They were sitting at their computers listening to this fine award-winning program, and then all of a sudden they went correction on what we were saying. They just said they're just called gulls, which I fired back with, you don't know their story. You don't know where they're from. I mean, are you going over to the Orchards Mall? Right now, you can't really because I haven't seen any gulls lately. I think they have migrated somewhere. Maybe they've moved to another place to mess around. But the gulls, you don't know if they came all the way from the sea. They could have. So, I mean, do you call them lake gulls? Do you call them beach gulls? Or you just call them gulls? Anyways, that was one letter that we got. And I think the person called us dumb bunnies. So that was fun. But if you want to write a letter, you want to send us a card, Christmas is coming here very soon. It seems like everybody's kind of switched over to the holidays very quickly. Like as soon, I don't know if it was because of the snow that we had here in Southwest Michigan, which I'm happy that most of it has cleared up. So I don't know if it was the snow that got everybody in that Christmas spirit, but I've been seeing Christmas commercials all over the TV and a bunch of Christmas ads. And I'm sure now that I'm talking about it, I'm going to see a ton of Christmas holiday ads on Facebook and Instagram and things like that. But yeah, everybody's getting into the mood with the holidays. And we'll actually talk about Thanksgiving in just a little bit. But speaking of holidays, you're going to probably do a lot of shopping for the holidays and probably I mean, of course, you want to shop locally and support a lot of our local businesses, but sometimes you have to go online for certain things. And also keep in mind there are a lot of local companies, local businesses that have an online presence. So be sure to check out them first for some of the stuff you're thinking about, because that unique gift, I think, is better than something that you can get on, say, Amazon or any of the other big online stores. But when you go online, of course, cybersecurity is very, very important. And I found this to be the case when, anytime your identity gets stolen, had that happen in the past where all of a sudden you go to get some money out and there's not as much as you thought there would be. Well, you usually a lot of the financial institutions catch that, but sometimes every once in a while you're the one that catches it right before they do. But with that, you have to change your passwords a lot, and really you should do it more often. I had to change my password just the other day, and it's hard to come up with new passwords because a lot of times they're like, hey, you need to have a number, a symbol, a capital letter, and it has to be this many characters. So it's kind of hard to come up with some of those passwords and remember them. Now they're moving into like the Face ID, the fingerprint stuff, and I'm okay with that, but that only works in certain cases. But how about this idea? If you're looking for a password that's almost impossible to break, some cybersecurity experts are now recommending using emojis. With a typical password, you choose from fewer than 100 letters, numbers, and punctuation symbols. So there's not a ton of options. So that means not a ton of combinations. I mean, there's millions, but there's not a lot. I mean, a computer, well, you think about AI and all those things that are coming into play, you got to be more creative. However, if you think about it, and I know you use them, you probably have your go-to emojis, but there are more than 3,600 standard emojis out there, which makes it way harder to try and crack, and it might be easier to remember than a letter combination. But before you change your password, not all websites will accept emojis yet. So keep that in mind, whether it's the crying face or like the sideways crying because you're laughing so hard face. Those are some of my favorite ones. Or, hearts, thumbs ups, things like that. Soon you might have a password that is a bunch of symbols. Other things to worry about in the news this morning. I don't know if you should really worry about it, but just keep in mind that there might be a shortage coming soon. Apparently, there's a nationwide shortage of half-pint milk cartons, which means no milk at some schools and other institutions, prisons, hospitals, places like that. It's creating an oversupply at dairy farms and costing those farmers a fortune. Now, some schools say that they're now only supplying juice and water in the cafeteria. And if they can't get more cartons soon, dairy producers want schools to consider installing milk dispensers. Really? Could you imagine milk dispenser? That would be pretty cool. Not really sure how that would work, but I mean, you could possibly start bottling the milk. Maybe they could do some half pint bottles, but I don't know. It's just it's a different taste. I don't know if it's the carton or if it's just, your brain doing things, but there's nothing like that half pint of chocolate milk that you got after standing in line in the cafeteria. Oh, so good. I remember when I was a kid in elementary school at Liebrook Elementary. Shout out to Eau Claire Public Schools. When I was at Liebrook Elementary, I was our class. I don't know if it was all the classes, but our class was in charge of KP duty, which the kitchen patrol, or I think that's what it was. I think that's what KP stood for. But I was part of the KP duty, and man, it was so great being that the person that passed out the milk. You felt like you were on top of the world, like you were the key holder, you're the gatekeeper of all the deliciousness, because of course everybody knew they were going to get pizza on Fridays or taco day or things like that. But being the keeper of the milk, it felt like you were on a whole nother level, because if you didn't like somebody and they were like, yeah, I just want a chocolate milk. I'm like, no, you're going to get the 1% milk, or you're getting skim milk. You're not getting the delicious chocolate milk. I mean, I was like that. But the milk carton shortage, they say, is causing some issues. Now, I don't think it's causing any issues right now, but possibly in the near future. The press release that I'm looking at, Evergreen Packaging is one of the companies that does it. They're the leading company, packaging manufacturer in North America. They're responsible for packaging of fresh milk and supplies of various schools, nursing homes, prisons, as well as with all these products. With so many clients' requests, the company just can't seem to keep up with the demand. They say there's not a shortage of milk. The milk is fine. It's the milk cartons. That's what what's his name? Chris Tague or Tage says about this whole thing. He said there are obvious solutions like opting for recyclable plastic bottles or a dispenser and cups. But the anti-milk people, some of the anti-milk people aren't even attempting to implement these options. So there's a lot that goes on to this. The National Dairy Organization and Producers Association represents family dairy farms. Said that announcement of individual milk cartons could have impact on school cafeterias across the nation. There's a bottleneck, supply chain, all of those buzzwords kind of going on. But they said it's basically a packaging issue, not a milk supply issue. So they're working with people to figure this all out. So I'm not sure if that's only the half pints or if that really, if you think about it, if you just made less big cartons of milks in the grocery store and you kind of just, reduce that size, you take some of that paper product in to make the other cartons. I don't know. I'm not a carton producer. I just talk for a living. I can come up with a million ideas, but really what ends up happening is their decision. So we'll see if that ends up affecting us in the near future here in Southwest Michigan. But what we do have is a lot of other things to deal with, and we'll catch you up with all the news and things that are happening around the state and around the nation and the world. Plus, your Bloomberg Market Minute is coming up next.
At Sturgis Bank, it's our people that make the difference. Meet Patrick Swam, commercial lender for Berrien County.
My career in financial services started as a teller at a local credit union, shifted over to the community bank model, and haven't looked back since. My whole life I've been from Berrien County. Love being involved in the community. It's a real passion of mine. I serve on the Buchanan City Commission Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the Buchanan Promise Board as well. The term trusted advisor, it's on a different level when you work for a small institution. It's not all writing checks. It's about knowing your neighbors. They're the first name they think of when they think of filling a need. One of the big things that attracted me to Sturgis Bank was the team that they put together, because you trust the people you work with and you know they're going to deliver at the end of the day, not only for their clients, but their peers. They care. And that passion was something that was really important to me when I made the decision to come to Sturgis Bank.
Visit SturgisBank.com to meet the commercial lending team here to help hometown businesses. Sturgis Bank. Let's grow home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Stunning sights, more clicks, web design from Websticks.
When you talk to the team at Websticks, it's a sign of a new beginning for your.
Hey, good morning, everybody that's watching on our live stream and having a good time with just me. Ken is actually out sick this morning. Hopefully he'll be feeling better and backing up and running tomorrow. But for now, you get me. On our Facebook page, just catching up on some of the comments here. Jocelyn chiming in says, the Dairy King. Yes, you felt like the Dairy King when you were sitting in front of the big cooler that was passing out all of the milks, the chocolate milk, the 2%, and the skim milk. Didn't see a lot of 1% back in the day, and I will say 1%. That's my go-to. I mean, 2% is a little too milky. I guess the thickness and the consistency of 2% is it's almost too heavy. 1% solid. You don't see a lot of 1% chocolate milk though. Another one that I love. I do love a solid skim milk. Always good. But now as I've gotten older, I cut out milk almost completely. And yeah, so oat milk, really you can't call it oat milk, but oat beverage, which I guess it's oat milk because usually when you have the oats, you get them wet and then you squeeze it out. So it's kind of like you're milking it. Anyways, I won't get into the mechanics of all that stuff, but Jocelyn said, okay, but why is there a carton shortage? Basically, from what I'm reading, is that it's a supply chain issue. So the company that makes a large amount of the half pint boxes and cartons for milk companies, a lot of milk companies, they're having issues dealing with everything from the government, USDA, and different shortages of different stuff. I don't know if the government, the looming government shutdown or the budget not really be passing or whatever, the government shutting down for a little bit, if that has anything to do with it, not really sure. So we'll see. I know the government, speaking of government shutdown, I know they're working on a bunch of stuff. They got a big pile of things to deal with now that they finally have a Speaker of the House. But they're going through all of that stuff right now and catching up on things. But that budget decision, it's coming up here pretty soon. So yeah. I'm just reading some more on this just to make sure I covered all my bases here about the milk carton shortage. Yeah, they just sent it a quoting from a news source, CBS News, says a significant industry supplier of half-pint milk carton packaging is experiencing operational challenges right now. So that's kind of their thing, operational challenges. Bill says 1% milk is just dirty water. I need my milk whole. I will say I do love a solid whole milk. Have you seen this? I've seen it in a couple grocery stores and cafes where I can't remember the company, but it's got a cow on it, some creamery or something like that. But they hadn't skimmed the fat, so it's like whole fat with like a layer. There's like a layer of fat on top. So I think that would be, great for if you're trying to make something really, really rich and creamy. But anyways, got to get back to the show here. Hey, good morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Ken out sick this morning, so it's me, Johnny Reinhardt. Welcome. Hope you're having a great day. Things going on in the news we'll get to in just a little bit. But first, you're probably wondering about the weather, and you're noticing that a lot of the snow melted away, which, hey, I'm on board with that. But a lot of the snow melted. Looks like we're going to be good for a little while. It looks like today's going to be cloudy, high 48, clouds tonight, and low down to 36. Looking ahead to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we should be pretty good. Somewhere in the, I think the mid to high 50s. At least that's what they're saying that we'll be at. So I trust them. We'll see how that goes. I don't think we're going to have snow for a little while. I do not see snow in the forecast in the next few days. So if that helps. But let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Dave Wolf. The Berrien County Sheriff's Appointment Committee has reviewed the applications of those people applying to serve the remaining term of Berrien County Sheriff Paul Bailey. Bailey is retiring at the end of the year, leaving a year before the next election. 5 people have applied for the interim role, and after initial review, the committee decided all 5 will receive an interview. Berrien County Prosecutor Steve Perangeli chairs the appointment committee and says each interview will start with Q&A during an hour session.
It will be started with a 45 question and answer session with the interviewee, followed by discussion among committee members. After the interviewing is done, the committee will deliberate and make a decision and appoint a new sheriff at that time.
4 of the 5 candidates are currently serving in the Berrien County Sheriff's Office. 1 is from out of state. The 5 applying for the role are Lieutenant Thomas Dyer of Niles, Jeffrey Gorley of Miramar, Florida, Under Sheriff Chuck Hyde of New Buffalo, Lieutenant Roger Johnson of St. Joseph, and Deputy Jason Long of Berrien Springs. The interviews will be open to the public and will be held on November 22nd. Congressman Tim Walberg says he wouldn't support the censure of a House colleague just because he disagrees with their opinions. The House on Wednesday tabled a censure resolution against Michigan Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib over her remarks on Israel. It was introduced by Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who called a pro-Palestinian protest at the Capitol this week an insurrection. Tlaib took part in that protest. Before the vote to table Wednesday, Walberg told us he spoke to Tlaib and she denied entering any restricted areas during that protest.
If she didn't do that, then I will stand against her being censored. Regardless of what I think about her speech, she deserves the First Amendment liberties just like me.
Walberg says the rhetoric over Israel is overcharged, but given that Tlaib has family in the West Bank, he can understand why she might not be a fan of Israel. Either way, he can't police your speech.
The First Amendment protects us all, and when we take it away from one, we potentially take it away from another.
In response to Green's censure resolution against Tlaib, Democrats filed a censure motion against Green, citing a whole host of reasons. The House on Wednesday tabled the Tlaib resolution, while the resolution to censure Green was withdrawn. Walberg says both were the right decisions. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is pushing for passage of a green energy plan that some are calling a Green New Deal on the state. On Wednesday, her office released a promotional video in which Whitmer says proposals outlined in her What's Next address will grow the state's economy by shifting to renewable energy sources.
By implementing our climate plan, we'll save families $5.5 billion in household energy costs by 2050. We'll create 160,000 jobs and bring home $14.7 billion of federal funding back home to Michigan.
Democratic lawmakers are aiming to get several energy bills approved before the end of the session, which will be in the next week or so. The plans include requiring Michigan to get 100% of its energy sources from carbon-free sources by 2040. Those sources would include solar, wind, nuclear, and hydropower. There are benchmarks the state would have to meet between now and the 2040 deadline. State Representative Pauline Wetzel has slammed the proposal, saying if the state relies on intermittent sources of energy, it will face grid instability. Lake Michigan College has reached a new transfer agreement with Western Michigan University for its exercise science program. Dr. John Beck is chair of the LMC Department of Natural Science, Exercise Science, and Wellness. He tells us the new agreement will enable students in the exercise science program to earn credits or an associate's degree at LMC and then move on to WMU without having to retake any classes.
students will now have a very clearly defined transfer pathway between Lake Michigan College and one of our largest transfer partners. And Western Michigan University also has an excellent exercise science program. And we see a lot of our students already transferring to Western for multiple programs. And this just gives them another option.
The exercise science program is new, just having launched this year. Beck says the college wanted to make sure right away students would have a solid transfer option. He says the program is off to a good start, being nearly full and with 4 students majoring in exercise science. And seatbelt use in Michigan has been going down for the past few years. Michigan State Police First Lieutenant Dwayne Robinson out of the Paw Paw Post tells us data released this week shows the state's seatbelt use rate in 2023 is down 0.5% from 2022 and down 2% from 2019. The rates in Southwest Michigan mirror the state's numbers.
We're just under 90%. State average is about 90%. So we're just about right there. But we're not happy with the dip over the past few years, understanding that with every percentage decrease, we know that lives are lost as a result.
Robinson says as a state police trooper, he has seen what can happen in a crash when someone isn't buckled up. Not wearing a seatbelt is a primary offense, meaning police can pull you over for it. The ticket is $65.
We write a fair amount of tickets. Like with any violations that we see out, our primary goal is to educate the public, the seatbelt being one of the most important devices, tools that we have to save lives.
Robinson says it only takes a second to buckle up, and it could save your life. The Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning says every 1% increase in the seatbelt use rate means an estimated 10 fewer traffic deaths and 100 fewer serious injuries. In 2023, Berrien County's seatbelt use rate was 88.9%. Van Buren County was higher at 90.1%, while Cass County was at 92.6%. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Dave Wolf.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. A man has died and his wife is hospitalized after they used a generator in their garage in Fruitport Township, southeast of Muskegon. They had told their daughter they didn't feel well and were going to the hospital, so she called 911. First responders found them on the floor of their attached garage with the generator running. A snowstorm Tuesday caused several thousand power outages. The firm hired by Oxford High School to investigate the November 2021 shootings will hold 3 public meetings today. The report places blame for the shootings on Ethan Crumbly, but says individuals at all levels of the district bear responsibility for the tragedy that occurred where 4 students were killed and 7 others injured. Former Congressman Mike Rogers is now running in the Republican primary for U.S. Senate after being out of politics for several years. A key issue for him is inflation. He says the U.S. should support Israel and Ukraine, but he says we should have accountability. I'm Beth Fisher for the Michigan News Network.
All contractors working with Michigan businesses can win more projects by including energy-efficient rebates in your proposals. These rebates are provided by Michigan utility companies for contractors and customers completing construction projects using energy-efficient equipment. DNV, our local sponsor, can help you start your rebate journey. Visit dnvtradeally.com to learn how energy-efficient rebates can help you win more bids. That's dnvtradeally.com.
Vietnam War era veterans served honorably, and now the state of Michigan wants to honor you with a recognition certificate. This recognition certificate is for qualifying veterans who served during the Vietnam War era, currently live in Michigan or lived in Michigan while serving, and were honorably discharged or released under honorable circumstances. Get a recognition certificate for yourself or a loved one at michigan.gov/Vietnam certificate. Brought to you by the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency.
For the first time since Israel closed all borders to Gaza following the October 7th Hamas attack, some people have been allowed to leave Gaza. ABC's Ian Panel is in Sderot, Israel.
Up to 7,000 foreign nationals expected to be able to finally escape from Gaza after weeks of war and waiting, as people desperately search for their names on an approved list posted each morning, hoping their nightmare will soon end.
President Biden Wednesday in Minnesota, responding to a call for a ceasefire, said he thinks a humanitarian pause is necessary. Controversial Republican Congressman George Santos is staying in Congress. A vote to expel him failed. He faces nearly 24 felony criminal charges. 45,000 students in Portland, Oregon out of school today. Public schools closed in the city as the teachers are on strike. And the Texas Rangers, champions of baseball for the first time. They beat the Arizona Diamondbacks. Corey Seager, the World Series MVP. Brian Clark, ABC News.
There are certain names that are icons of their sport. You say Wayne Gretzky or Gordie Howe, you think hockey. You say Ernie Banks or Babe Ruth, and you think baseball. And when you say Bob Knight, you think Indiana basketball, and you most certainly are reminded of chairs being thrown across the floor at Assembly Hall down in Bloomington. Knight passed away last night at the age of 83. The announcement by Knight's family said the Hall of Fame coach was surrounded by his family when he passed. The cause of death was given. Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo, commenting on Knight's passing, said, "He treated me great, and he helped me. I wish people knew what a great heart that he had. He was a different dude, but if you needed some help, he would answer the bell." Now to baseball. Game 5 of the World Series was what you wanted to see in a closeout game. A near no-hitter, great pitching on both sides, and a late outburst. Texas was held without a hit until the 7th inning, but an RBI single from Mitch Garver not only broke up the no-hitter, but was the winning run, as Texas beat Arizona 5-0 to win the Rangers' first World Series title in franchise history. Texas went a perfect 10-0 on the road in the playoffs this year. Rangers shortstop Corey Seager won the playoff MVP. Wednesday in the NBA, Shaedon Sharpe had 29 points, 26 of them in the second half, to lead Portland over the Pistons 110-101. The Trailblazers were down by 12 at the half. Cade Cunningham scored a game-high 30 points for Detroit. The Dallas Mavericks remain undefeated. Grant Williams had 25 points, including 7 threes, and the Mavs 114-101.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm back. Sorry, I was walked away for a little bit. The boss man was here, so I had to help him out with some stuff because he's actually going. This is pretty cool for people that are in the radio industry. There's a really cool thing happening over at Ford Field. It's the Great Lakes Media and Sports. I don't know the exact name, but the Michigan Association of Broadcasters is putting it on, and it's a pretty cool thing for a lot of young students that are in getting into radio, whether they be in college or maybe they're interested in that career. There's a lot of really cool things going on to get people ready for it. And so yeah, just he's heading over there. So I was helping him out with certain stuff, but hope you're having a great start to your day. Feel free to comment with anything that you have going on this morning. Still a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about staying on the subject of schools. Michigan schools trying to attract more bus drivers. So what are schools doing? How are schools doing? I had a conversation with one of the transportation directors at Bridgman schools, and one of their big issues was not having enough bus drivers. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on this morning. But hope you're having a good day. We were talking about school milk as well because there's a carton shortage. But Teresa says she's with Bill. She likes the milk whole. There you go. 2%. I'm good with. I mean, if I'm going to have milk, which I don't have milk often, usually I'm doing the almond milk or almond beverage. So, yeah, usually I'm choosing that. But hopefully you're having a good day. I had to switch up cameras here. So this one's kind of feels really far away, even though it's kind of close. Because Zach stole my other camera. Zach East from down the hall, who has been on this fine award-winning program in the past. I remember he mentioned, or he told us about the Bold Women of Business and those awards. They had those awards last night over at the Inn at Harbor Shores, and he said, "Hey, can I borrow your camera?" I should have stipulated, yes, you can borrow my camera if you bring it back in time for the show, and of course he didn't. But that's okay. That's why I always have a backup. Always good idea. A good idea to have backups for anything and everything that you have, because you never know when that thing is going to go down. Some stuff only lasts a certain amount of time, and as they say, they don't make things like they used to. But anyways, just getting everything ready. You know, when you have just one person on the show, I've done the show by myself for many a times. But anytime, when you're used to another person being in here, you get used to not only the conversations, but you stay focused on the things you need to stay focused on, and then you lose focus of other things. So I don't want to lose focus on what we're talking about here, but I also don't want to lose focus on what's going on in the show. And I want to make sure that I'm staying on time with everything that's going on. But anyways, are you glad that the snow is gone, or are you upset that the snow is gone? So because I know there's two schools here. There's a lot of people that were really excited that it's finally feeling like winter, even though it's not officially winter. And then there are those people that are really happy that it's going to warm up a little bit. I don't know about you, but my body is not ready for the cold just yet. I'm just not ready for it at all. But anyways, let's get back to the show here and get everything situated for the next segment, which we'll talk about school bus drivers.
Some have raised concerns about its potential to misrepresent the photo's subjects. With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow. Provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
WSJM Weather You Can Depend On is sponsored by Boss Services, raising the standard for heating, cooling, and electrical in Southwest Michigan. Boss Services.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies today. Still quite chilly across our areas. We're going to top out at 48. As we head into tonight, we'll see mostly cloudy skies down to 36. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of only 50 degrees. We'll be in the mid-50s over the weekend. A chance of rain returns as we head into Sunday. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Hi, this is Pat Moody, and you're listening to The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
Hey, good morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. You can be part of the show anytime. You can call 925-WSJM. You can email let's talk at WSJM.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube streaming live right now. In just a little bit, we'll get to Always Learning with our friends from Barry and Risa. Shifted some things around as Ken is out this morning, so we'll have that here in just a couple of minutes, as well as your Moody on the Market update. Keep you in the know with all the stuff that's going on this morning. So yeah, that's coming up in just a little bit. Also planning our weekend with our friends from St. Joe today. So yeah, all that's coming up here in just a few minutes. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
The Blossom Time Festival ushers in the 2023-2024 community pageant season with the theme Every Day is a Holiday. The community of Cassopolis invites you to the Miss Cassopolis pageant with the theme Every Day is Christmas this Saturday, November 4th at 2 p.m. at the Ross Beatty Junior Senior High School Auditorium in Cassopolis. Tickets are $20 per person and are available at the door. Twin City Beauty College is proud to help this Midwest Family Station support our Blossom Time community pageants.
Sometimes it really pays to get a second opinion. Here's what a customer had to say when she visited Pro Muffler and Brake Shop.
Hi, my name is Idea Bickham. This is my 2013 Hyundai Sonata. I brought it over to Pro Muffler to get a second opinion. After taking it to a few places, and I was quoted $2,500. I brought it over here. They actually told me what was actually going on with it, and I was able to save around $1,700. They fixed my car. I'm back on the road. It's driving really well. If you could, come over to Pro Muffler and get your car checked out.
Pro is a local repair shop with local people you can trust for brakes, suspension, front end, exhaust work, under your hood, or under your car. Get a second opinion from Pro Muffler and Brake Shop.
Pro Muffler and Brake Shop. Lower prices under your car.
On M139 Ben Harbor.
We promise.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
When you want to know Southwest Michigan's business, you can find it at moodyonthemarket.com and the Moody on the Market app. Stay in the know with all of our stories about our team, from our team of contributors on many, many things. Your Moody on the Market update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. The Box Factory Members Showcase is original works by more than 50 regional artists, all of whom are members of the Berrien Artists Guild. Approximately 100 pieces representing a variety of media will be exhibited in galleries of all 3 floors of the awesome old building. The theme this year is Remembering Songs from Youth. Artwork relating to the theme is going to be installed together. Opening reception and open house, 5:30 to 8 p.m., Friday, November 10th. Public is invited. It's free of charge to the opening reception on Friday, November 10th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. You want all the details and everything you need to know about it, you can find it at moodyonthemarket.com and the Moody on the Market app. Your update is brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
We're watching over you. IMS Insurance Management Service.
Sometimes rates go.
All right, everybody. Hope you had a great time hanging out with just me. Ken out sick again today. So we'll get back to other stuff on the show here in just a little bit and catch you up with all the things you need to know. But for now, that does it for the live stream. You have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.